Mr. Lovato, thank you. Thank you for taking time to meet with me and share the experience with the, you know,
It's my pleasure to share my life and my students' life with you.
right. So, can you tell the readers what was the incident happened in your life that you would like to share with the readers, and what made you decide to be a teacher?
Your magazine is called Heroes of the Community. I was fortunate to be raised by two heroes of the community of the east side of San Jose. Both of my parents were teachers. My father taught here at Mount Pleasant.
Oh, is that right?
He taught English like I do. And my mother was a preschool teacher, a Head Start teacher. And so from the very beginning, I saw the power and the potential of public education at work in my life and in the lives of my parents' students. So we lived in the community in which they taught, and so they were very important people in the lives of my neighbors, the people that we see at the market or the mall or whatever. So I don't think I ever wanted to do anything other than become a school teacher. I'm very proud of what I do, and I consider myself fortunate to still live in the community, to see my work validated in the lives of my students who are now my neighbors and the people that I see at the supermarket.
That is good. You know, this is something, you know, I did share with you, my mom was a teacher too.
You did, yes.
Yeah. What is that one thing all students can do to get the same result as a Christian?
So I think Crisanto would agree that school started to click and to make sense for him once he became connected with school, when school wasn't just sitting down and learning the lessons, but involving themselves in the lives of the community of the school. There's a culture at Mount Pleasant. He's become the poet of this culture, and he's valued as such. So maybe like him for a little while, when I was a student, I sort of drifted in school until I found a place to belong. And I think once you find that place, you start to create your identity around those people and those circumstances. And so a public school, a comprehensive public school like this is very important in that we have lots of opportunities through clubs or through classes or veteran teachers who've invested their lives in the students of this community. So I think that's what makes public education so important and so powerful a resource for kids.
Okay, that's really. Who was the most influential person in your life besides your parents?
I thought about this a lot. You gave me this question ahead of time, and I appreciate that. Because of course the answer is the parents and the grandparents and the family. But you challenged me to think. So my answer is this, is that there's not one person, that I am made up of the influences of everyone who has touched my life. As a young person, that ends up being teachers and coaches and counselors. And so those people have all had a huge impact on my life. Many of them did so knowingly, but a lot of people, teachers teach when they intend to and even when they don't intend to. So I think we need to recognize that kids are always learning, and so it's important that we always treat our students with respect and with dignity, because those are the things that they remember, much more so than the reading and the writing sometimes. I want to give them those skills, but I want them to feel validated and respected as people too. So I hope that that's the influence that I am, right, on my students.
That's great, because it is always said, it takes only two people to have a children, but it takes a village to raise the children.
That's true. That's absolutely true, especially in a community like this.
Exactly. Was there a teacher that inspired you in the classroom?
Yeah. So the thing about teaching, we were just talking about this, is that we invest our lives into our students, and you hope for the best and you equip them, and then you send them out into the world. And most often, you really don't know. You hope for the best, that they've done well, but you really don't know. And so it's a privilege to have this forum, to look at a camera and to say thank you to the people that have made an incredible difference in my life. So I grew up in this community in the 1980s. I was a high school student. And there were teachers at Independence High School and at Piedmont Hills High School, where I eventually graduated from, that made a tremendous impact on my life. And so I would like to take the opportunity to say thank you specifically to Gretel Castro Stanley, who was my
Oh, is that
Spanish,
right?
my Spanish teacher, whom I later got to work with here at Mount Pleasant, is now a very good friend of mine. So I wish her the very best. She taught me that I was an important person, and I wasn't just a student in her class, but that I was an individual to be nurtured. There was another teacher named John Rutherford, who was a Marine Corps drill sergeant before he taught, and he had tremendously high standards. He was very strict and very disciplined, but I learned a whole lot from him. And these are people that I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to say thank you to, so it's important to do that. Two more. One was Charlene Delfino, who was my sophomore English teacher. It's a big reason I'm an English teacher today.
Is that right?
Yeah. And there's one more, and his name was Doug Wong, and he was a science teacher, and he's the teacher that I want to be, right? He loved his job and he loved his students, and I hope I bring that joy and enthusiasm to the classroom every day. So thank you to all of you.
That is true. Thank you. You know, we talked about one of my teacher in the outside.
Yeah.
He was my English teacher.
And you said thank you, and that's
Yeah.
important to him, and I think it means a lot to him.
Yeah. What do you like to do when you're not teaching?
So unlike some jobs where you go and you punch your time card and you give them your hours, I'm always a teacher. So teaching and learning sort of define who I am. So even when I'm not at school, that's what I love to do. I love to learn, and then I love to teach. So if I'm in a museum and I'm, enjoying a painting, my instinct is to bring my wife and my children or my students or to share that with them. So I love to learn new things, and I love to share those new things with other people. I love coffee, and I love jazz, and I love bicycles, and I love reading. But at the end of the day, I'm a teacher, and I love to learn more than anything.
Yeah, because the more you learn, the more you can share.
That's true. It's true.
Well, Mr. Lovato, thank you. Thank
You're
you for
very
your
welcome.
time.
You're very welcome.
And I appreciate
It's
you
been my pleasure.
coming and joining us and sharing with the viewers and the readers,
Great.
and hopefully you inspired maybe other teachers,
I sure hope so.
and maybe other teachers would take some other children in their wing and have them help them soar.
I continue to be inspired by it.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you personally and your publication, Héroes de la Comunidad, for shining the light on our community and our students. We've got some very incredible people in the community, and too often they don't get the limelight that they deserve. So thank you for doing this for us.
I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to do that,
Thank you, sir.
Without the students and the teachers and the school involved, I couldn't have done it.
It's good to recognize that.
I want to take the time too to just say thank you, for your publication, because this Héroes de la Comunidad, sometimes, especially from the east side, people don't expect anything from us, but it's good to know that there are people that here, in their backyard, in their city, that are willing to do something, and I want to thank you so much.
Thank you,
so
man. You make me feel good.
You should.
Thank you.